Hey, what's up, you guys? Cody Gill here, talking to you guys and more Tennessee Titans. What you guys think about George Jackson getting let go, um, bringing in Janoris Jenkins of the New Orleans Saints, and what you guys think about that. Just getting right to it. George Jackson saves about 10 million in the cap. A little surprised. About him getting released, him getting let go, considering the fact that he just got his 5th-year option granted. Other than Corey Davis, they went with Adoree Jackson, and they still cut him. Um, a couple of reasons why they possibly cut him was he didn't play at all last year. Really, when he did play, it's like he wasn't really on the field. I mean, the guy was allowing 80% catch rate when targeted. I mean, you cannot have that. As a starting corner, that's one of the worst, I think, in the entire league. You know, I get it. He was hurt all year. He was rusty and stuff like that. That don't mean much. I mean, you're in the NFL. It doesn't matter. You're in your 4th, 5th year. I mean, there's no excuses for it. And I think honestly, I think he was more. I guess you can say milking the injury than what a lot of people might think. I mean, he was practicing halfway through the year, and then he still can't play till the final couple games of the year or whatnot. I mean, I think that's horse manure. I think that's horse crap. I think he was okay to go. I think he just did not want to go, you know. So they cut him. I mean, something's going on. I mean, $10 million in save. Then they cut against Kelly. I don't really like. I like the Adoree Jackson move more than the Dennis Kelly move. You see what Dennis Kelly did. Now Dennis Kelly saves, I think it's like 7 million in the cap, so that helps there. Um, we get cheaper at right tackle. We got cheaper at corner. We're gonna get cheaper at just about every position, really, almost. This upcoming year. I mean, a lot of people. I like the Janoris Jenkins move actually more than I do the Adoree Jackson. You know, I mean, a couple of stats from a couple of years ago. you know, in 2019 and 2020, you know, Jenkins got 62 and 63 tackles. Adoree Jackson got 20. Of course, he only played very little, and 50. You know, and of course, Jenkins missed 10 to 12 tackles. Jackson only missed 5 and 7. Now, another thing here is Janoris Jenkins is on the field about 200 plus more snaps a year than Adoree Jackson. So you got to think, his interception total has a higher chance of being higher. His touchdowns has a chance of being higher. His missed tackles and just all those types of numbers have a chance of being higher and everything than Adoree Jackson would, just because he plays more snaps. Targets, Janoris was targeted 90 times this year and 85 times last year. He only allowed 54 catches this year and 49 last year. This year he allowed 60% of those targets to be caught compared to 57.6 of last year. Don't seem great, but if you look at Adoree Jackson, this year was 81% and last year was 62%. So either way, both years, Janoris Jenkins beats Adoree Jackson. And here's another thing that I really like about Janoris Jenkins is the interceptions. 2020, Janoris Jenkins had 3 interceptions. In 2019, he had 5. This year and last year, Adoree Jackson had 0. This year it's a little different because, again, he was injured all year apparently. But last year he played all year, and you get 0 interceptions, none, and you're allowing 62% of the time that you're getting targeted. You're allowing a catch. So I just think those numbers kind of I think show you that yes, Jenkins is older. Jenkins isn't the long term answer, but I think that ultimately Jenkins, at least for this year, maybe even next year, would be a better fit for the next year to 2 years than a Joe Jackson would be, and a cheaper option. You gotta love that cheaper option shit. Um, I think even with the Janoris Jenkins signing, I think you still have to go. I, I think you still got to go outside linebacker, edge, or corner in in the draft. Um, my hope is that Janoris Jenkins could team up with Fulton and J.C. Horn of the draft. You know, me personally, I think Horn would be a phenomenal pickup, especially at 22. I don't think he's going to last at 22. I can hope and dream that he's going to last at 22. I just don't see it. Uh, Horn's dad played wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints, and he has that in your face mentality, um, and he can, unlike Joe Jackson, he can intercept the football. Um, plus, in zone in college for the University of South Carolina for J.C. Horn, he had a zone coverage grade of 82.5%. So he's good in zone. Man, he's a little bit low on, but I think that's just depending on who. I mean, listen, when you're going up against guys like Devontae Smith, or you're going up against guys like Jerry Judy or whatnot, or George Pickens, um, man against those guys are very difficult. Those are the guys that they're mismatches for the offense, totally against you. Um, Another guy that if we can't get J.C. Horn, another guy I would really like to get would be a guy like Greg Newsome out of Northwestern in the second or third in the third round, preferably. This is a guy that in man and zone both have a higher grade of 82+% coverage grade in man and in zone. Now, of course, he's Northwestern. He's not going up against as many good wide receivers as J.C. Horn is going up against in the SEC, but he's still going up against really good wide receivers. I mean, it's the Big Ten; they got legit wide receivers. Um, so plus, he also allowed the second lowest catch rate going up against him. J.C. Horn allowed the lowest at 33.3. Newsom allowed 35.3. So both don't really give up a lot of catches against them. I think ultimately what you have to see is who comes off the board and where they come off the board at. Um, with how J Rob's been working free agency, I wouldn't be totally surprised if he jumps up a little bit, jumps up 4, 5, 6 picks, and say, hey, this is our guy, we're going to go get this guy, whether it be a J.C. Horn or an Elijah Moore, I would pray and love that Elijah Moore last year pick number 53 in the second round, but I seriously doubt that's going to happen. I don't see Elijah Moore lasting past 40. Um, Unless we want to pick at 22, if somebody is there that's really good, like a J.C. Horn or something, and then come back from 53 and jump up and say, hey, we going for Elijah Moore. Or, Bateman out of Minnesota. Bateman's another really good wide receiver. He opted out halfway through the year, but, I think his situation was a little different. I don't like the fact that people opted out last year unless you have an underlying issue and a good legitimate reason for opting out. Guys like Jamar Chase just opted out just because he's like, I had a great 2019 season. I'm just not gonna play. Screw it. I'm not playing. That to me is really selfish. And for a wide receiver, you're already selfish because you're a wide receiver. You don't get the ball all the time like a quarterback or a running back does, and stuff like that. So you're kind of more on the selfish and more on the giver level of things. And with him already showing the fact that he's not willing to play, I don't think is really a great sign. I don't think. Um, that's why I would pick Elijah Moore over Bateman. I mean, just like that immediately. Um, Plus, not only that, but I think if you look at it, Elijah Moore is a baller. I mean, he is a straight up baller. I think he had like a 92% catch rate or something in college, and this dude's going up against guys like J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, Josh Jobe, um, and what a lot of people like is Eric Stokes and stuff from Georgia. You know, he's going up against legit guys and everything. I mean, I got it right here. Actually, catch rate, 92.5. You know, drop rate out of guys like Bateman, Marshall, with Elijah Moore, Rondell Moore, Kadarius Toney, Terrence Wallace, Cy Smith, slot guy, you know, Armand St. Brown, Jamani Brown, Nico Collins, and so out of all those guys that I believe that we can target at wide receiver, he had the lowest drop rate considering how many times he was targeted and thrown at and everything. Amon St. Brown was a little bit lower, but again, he wasn't facing the great competition that Elijah Moore was, and he didn't get as many targets. But the fact that against man coverage, he was also the highest at 90.4, considering the fact he's not the biggest guy. He really ain't. He's kind of on the smaller level. You know, he's not going to just out physical you, but his feet, his quick feet getting off the line, his routes, and everything else, they're so good that he's able to beat man coverage on or off the line of scrimmage. Contested catch weight and everything else also, considering the fact he's a smaller guy at 73%, is quite good. Considering it's the fourth highest. Marshall is the highest, but then again, Marshall from LSU is like 6'4", 200 some odd pounds. So it's really more normal for him to be a little better at contested rate just because of his size. But for Moore to be upwards of 73 and everything is pretty impressive. Um, I think those two positions are going to have to be targeted quite often and quite forced. You know, skill corner, unless we go out and get a Richard Sherman, who I'm not completely against. I don't like the fact that you're getting two veteran guys that you're only going to have for a year, two, maybe 3 years max. And now you're having to, you're right back in the situation you are right now. You're having to get multiple corners and everything else. Now you're gonna have to either spend the money in free agency or you're gonna have to take risk in the draft and get not one but two corners and everything. I don't think it'd be the smartest idea, but again, I'm not J Rob. Um, Showman's still not allowing touchdowns. He's not, allowing a lot of catch percentage, against him. He's around 50ish to 55ish. I mean, he's not again, compared to Joey Jackson and compared to Malcolm Butler, they're both upgrades in that perspective. So we'll see what we got to go to. Ultimately, I don't think we sign Richard Sherman or another really big veteran. We might sign another corner, but he's not going to be, a 9, 10 plus year vet, like a Janoris Jenkins or Richard Sherman are. Um, Ultimately, depending on who falls too, we might take an edge rusher depending on who falls. I mean, there's a lot of really good edge rushers in this draft. There's a few of them that are really good that have a year or two, I think, in the NFL to kind of grow and adapt and get better in their bodies. The Texas outside linebacker, I can't even say his name, Osia or whatnot. I think he has a little bit of what to do, but he still has a lot of good potential. You know, um, Kia out of Michigan. I like him, but again, he has some room to grow. A year or two in the league, he's gonna do good. Penn State, Oria or whatnot. The dude's really he's built very athletic like. But again, he I think he's gonna take another 2 or 3 years in the pros. So he's somebody's probably gonna draft relatively high. That's gonna have to wait a year or 2 years. They're gonna kind of bank on his potential to grow into that role, kind of somewhat like we did with Harold Landry, but he was in the second round, not in the first. Um, Tight end is somebody that we can also look into the draft. I like guys like Hunter Long, Brevin Jordan, Kenny Yaboa, and Trey McKinney. Trey McKinney, I think, is somebody that we can wait on and get in like the fifth, sixth round. Um, he's built, kind of tall, kind of lean. He's not going to be a really good one blocker. Trey McKinney won't be, but he's more kind of a hybrid tight end. He can kind of sit outside, he can kind of come back inside, but he's a good pass catcher. And in today's game, you got to have a good pass catcher. You got to have several of them. And Trey McKinney is a pretty good pass catcher. And he's pretty quick compared to guys like Brevin Jordan, who are he's really big. Really big. Brevin Jordan, you can put him on the line and you can ask him to block, and he's going to block. And he's going to block very well. McKinney, not so much. Um, but McKinney is somebody that you can kind of depend on in the pass game a lot more. Um, Georgia just don't use tight ends. I don't. They just don't use them. Um, Kenny Yaboa, he's another one of those guys that he's tall, he's big, he's quite athletic. Brevin Jordan is a little bit more of an old school type tight end, but again, we'll see. And that's about what I got for you guys today. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna start doing this a lot more often. Tighten up.